we are entering a time right now where Europe is going to, I think Europe is going to collapse before we do. I think Europe is going to head for some real problems in the next few months, perhaps this winter. And we also have people that are pushing for violence here in the United States. Cut 3.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
There is an ultra-right MAGA contingent in this country that wants to overthrow the U.S. government.
It is a danger to our democracy. It is a danger to our way of life.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
The extremists that we're dealing with every single day, we've got to kill and confront that movement.
Clearly, this is a literally call to arms.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore.
I see this as a party, a MAGA party that no longer is confident that they can win elections with votes. And so now they're seeking to enact their political will through violence.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
Today's GOP is no longer a political movement. It is a fascist movement.
And this is why it could be more dangerous than 1860 or the 1930s.
Clearly, this is a literally call to arms.
Maybe now it is all about the violence. It all is about an insurrection. It all is, in his mind, about a civil war.
It feels like we are not just at the brink of a civil war, but that one has already begun.
The fact that the base is getting smaller, it makes it more dangerous in a lot of ways, because those are the people who are willing to do things like take up arms and press the questions and tactics that lead to civil war.
This is someone who held that office, who is basically saying to Americans, there should be civil war.
Look at what he's doing last night, as you note, that more or less salutes that are either QAnon or almost look like Nazism.
You saw the rally in Ohio the other night. Trump is there ranting and raving for more than an hour, and you have these rows of young men with their arms raised.
These crazed, deranged folks who want to impart evil in every facet of our society.
Clearly, this is a literally call to arms.
Okay, stop.
Literally.
That one was selected to play over and over again because there's no two ways to take that. She says literally a call to arms. This is what's washing over your neighbors who are not paying attention. This is what they're seeing, almost 24/7 drumbeat of this. Here's the good news. Here's Telemundo, cut 4 on elections with Hispanics and Latinx, otherwise known as Latinos.
Latinos are the largest, the fastest growing group of voters. And the numbers are there. Latino voters make up about 1 out of 10 voters. But they're also very unhappy. I mean, the pandemic hit them very hard. The economy is hitting them very hard. Inflation is hitting. They are unhappy about the job quality. And if you see the main issues Latino care about, they are right there. Economy, the job quality. So, this is a concern, and this can make things very difficult for Democrats. And also, the way Republicans are gaining space in that gap between Democrats and Republicans.
All right, I want to play two things, and I want to ask you, which one reflects your belief? Don't answer for anybody else, just you. Which one reflects you? Here's cut 6, Kamala Harris.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so women. Absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
Clap.
Please clap.
Okay, that's Kamala Harris talking about how FEMA should approach the hurricane with equity in mind, instead of let's just help people that are in need. If you're in need, I don't care what color you are. Let's help. Does that reflect your view? Now, the guy who's called a fascist has just said this about people who are going in and trying to take advantage of people who are affected by the hurricane. DeSantis, 7.
The other thing that we're concerned about, particularly in those areas that were really hard hit, is, we want to make sure we're maintaining law and order. Don't even think about looting. Don't even think about taking advantage of people in this vulnerable situation. And so local law enforcement is involved in monitoring that. I told Kevin if the state needs to help as well, because you can have people bringing boats into some of these islands and trying to ransack people's homes. I can tell you in the state of Florida, you never know what may be lurking behind somebody's home. And I would not want to chance that if I were you, given that we're a Second Amendment state.
Which one is the America that you know? The America that you stand for? Which one? The one that says we're going to help people affected by the hurricane based on equity? Or the one that says roll up your sleeves when you see somebody who needs help, help them? We don't need to ask them questions. We don't need to know where they live. We're just going to go in and help people. Which one is the America? Which one is the America that you know? The one that questions and demands honest answers to hold our government responsible? Or the America that holds you responsible, but they are never held accountable? The one that can lie to you over and over and over and over again, and then eventually just come out and say it, and there's no repercussion for it. The NIAID, which is headed by Anthony Fauci, just delivered a brand new grant to EcoHealth Alliance. The grant delivers now 5 years of funding for Peter Daszak's controversial nonprofit group to research, quote, the potential for future bat coronavirus. Now, if you remember, it was a conspiracy theory to say that any of this was happening. The potential for future bat coronavirus. Remember, Fauci said, we don't do that. That's gain of function. We don't do that. EcoHealth doesn't do that. And it certainly didn't have anything to do over in China. And we showed you the paper trail. We showed you the facts. Now, without any fanfare, without any questions, the government comes out and does it again. Not learning from past mistakes, denying that they do this, and then doing it out in the open again. Which is the America that you want to live in? Which is the America that is worth saving? Which is the one that you should be standing for? The one that lies to its citizens? Or the one that has the government accountable to its citizens? One is fascistic, the other is not. Because America seems to be so confused by fascism, the one that is pushing for limited government and a government that responds to its people and is held accountable by its people, that's not the fascist one.